It's the Bobby Mo Show, brought to you by Dollar Energy Fund. I'm Chris Shublin. Dylan Thompson is our producer each and every week, and it's a big week. This week we have a couple of guests in the studio here for the Bobby Mo Show. Jamie Keller is with women's lacrosse, and she's the goalkeeper. We'll be talking to her first, and then we're going to welcome a brand new assistant coach onto the RMU Colonial staff and to the volleyball team, and that is Tilbe Yaliolu. We'll be talking to both coming up next on the Bobby Mo Show. This winter, many families in our area are struggling to make ends meet and keep their homes warm. You can make a difference by making a donation to Dollar Energy Fund. Your contribution will be matched dollar for dollar by Dollar Energy Fund's utility partners, and 100% of all donations will be used to help local families maintain or restore basic utility services. No one should have to face a Pittsburgh winter in the cold. Help spread the warmth to your neighbors in need and donate today at dollarenergy.org. It's the Bobby Mo Show, brought to you by Dollar Energy Fund. I'm Chris Shublin. Welcome back. We're going to talk about women's lacrosse here at Robert Morris University, and we're going to do so with goalkeeper Jamie Keller. Jamie, your team is on a tear right now. You're 8-6 overall, but 8-0 in the Mid-America Conference, and a big contest coming up this Saturday. You're on the road at Central Michigan University up in Mount Pleasant. And if you get a win, you clinch the regular season title, right?
Yeah, we should. That'll mean that we have won twice against Central Michigan. I think it's a little bit up in the air because they lost to Youngstown, actually, but we've already beat Youngstown. So we should still win. We should still win the MAC Conference and be able to host at home for the tournament this upcoming weekend, as long as we go and win Central Michigan this weekend and then the following weekend for Youngstown, which I believe is also our senior day. So that'll be a good time. That will be a good time. We hope you pull that off. You've won 3 in a row. You're 8-0 in the MAC right now. What's it feel like to be on an undefeated team in conference? I mean, that's huge. It actually feels pretty good. It's still kind of nerve-wracking because you know that every single one of your competitors is actually going to be like out for blood and do their absolute most against you, which means that's good for us. It's good competition, but it's definitely a little nerve-wracking because sometimes it's just like you get some nerves a little bit. But overall, I think it feels really good. We're all like pretty proud. We always have stuff that we're going to work on, but we're all pretty proud overall for the season. So, yeah. That's good stuff. It's good stuff, no doubt about it. Now, 3 times this year you've been named the MAC Defensive Player of the Week. That's a nice feather in your cap, and that's a tough position. You're playing in goal. So let's talk about, first of all, winning those awards, and those are conference awards, so that's huge. And then let's break into talking about the mentality that it takes to be a goalkeeper. Yeah, so for being a goalie, the biggest thing you have to be aware of is, the first thing is you can't be afraid of the ball. You can't have fear from getting hit or like taking a little bit of a beating. It's just part of the job description. Like, you're going to get hit. Like, you can have good stick skills, but you're still probably going to get hit at some point. So you can't exactly be afraid of the ball or anything like that. Another big thing is, like, you got to be willing to use your voice to speak to your defense because, like, yes, we're the last line of defense, and it's really hard, but you can make your life so much easier as long as you talk to your defense and tell them what you want them to do, because then they can set you up for easy saves or good turnovers that it never even comes down to you. It's, like, all on them. So you got to be able to use your voice and, like, actually be a leader as much as you can be on the field for your defense. And even in some cases, like, we get the offense involved whenever we're in a ride or like the ball's coming back from the opposite end. You got to be able to use your voice to project down to them and tell them what you want them to do, because it'll get, most of the time, hopefully it'll end up in like a double team and the ball will turn back over before it even reaches anywhere close to you. Communication is pivotal in any sport, no doubt about it, particularly in your position, because again, just setting up the defense in front of you is important because it's going to make your job a lot easier. Oh, yeah. Yeah. As soon as, like, the defense, like, falls apart a little bit, like, it becomes a lot harder. But if you have a good set of defense that are willing to listen to you, that you're able to communicate with them very concisely and directly, you'll actually end up with some really easy saves and some really nice shows of, like, what our defense can do.
So what's it been like to win those conference honors this year?
Honestly, I never know when I actually win them until I get a bunch of notifications on my Instagram, because I don't actually use social media all that much. I'll get like 10 notifications, and all my teammates will have like posted on their stories that I won Defensive Player of the Week. And I'm like, how does everybody else know this besides me? Like, how am I the last one to know compared to everyone else? But it does feel really good. It actually pushes me to work a lot harder, just because I know that like I'll win it for a good game that I had previously, which means I have to do even better the next time in both the attempt to win it again, or even just like show that my capabilities are not just one and done. It's like a consistent growing process and a consistent like doing the best that you can and showing that you are basically a force to be reckoned with. Like,
so you're using this to add some more pressure.
Yeah, I am.
Well,
I enjoy the pressure, and like, so like getting recognized is actually just like, all right, I'm doing something good, but what can I do better? What can I keep growing at? What can I keep succeeding in and add to my game to make it even better, make it even harder for other people to come at our team and like try and win against us? Like, what can I do better?
Jamie Keller is the goalkeeper on the Robert Morris women's lacrosse team. They are undefeated in the Mid-America Conference at 8-0, headed into Central Michigan this coming Saturday for a big match there. There are a couple of things that jumped off of your bio at me. First of all, you played football?
Yeah,
For
yeah,
how
I did.
long?
I played until my freshman year of high school. I started playing. The coach themselves at the time, he's recently left, but did not like me. Did not like me at all. And I was one of the better defensive, offensive linemen, as well as a good middle linebacker for them. And simply because I was a girl, he wouldn't let me play any of them. He actually benched me most of the time. He put me against some of like the like not as talented players at the time, my freshman year, and I actually left partway through because I didn't want to deal with it. I was just like, I can do something way better with my time. I know I'm a good athlete. Like, I don't need to put up with this. And I actually went to lacrosse. I originally wanted to try and be a field player. I was told I can't hit people, and then they put me in a circle with 6 feet, so I couldn't touch anyone. And that was my freshman year of high school, and I stayed playing lacrosse. Obviously, I came here to Robert Morris for D1 lacrosse, and we're in my senior year now.
Well, that kind of answers two questions, because I was going to ask you how you got into lacrosse and how you became a goalkeeper. But the football coach, that stinks. I mean, that's just not fair. I mean, for the last, I don't know, ever since they've been around, I've been the play-by-play voice of the Pittsburgh Passion professional football team. It's women's professional football.
Yeah, it is.
It is real, live, hard-hitting. I mean, rock'em sock'em football. It's the real deal, and I don't like to hear stories about people not getting opportunities to play. And I know those women who play for the Passion, and they've become such really, really good friends. And I really respect the way they face what is supposedly a man's game.
Yeah, I actually back in high school, it was actually right after one of our games. I think it was, it was one of the city games. I don't remember exactly who we were playing, but their practice was right after one of our high school games. Yeah. And I actually stood there and talked to them for a good 30 minutes. Yeah. And I know they started talking to me and stuff like that. And I got some of their contact information at the time, and they were like, yeah, once you graduate high school, if you're interested in joining the Passion and stuff like that, just contact one of our managers and stuff like that. And tryouts are roughly around then, because I think it was my actual senior year of high school, because I was still really into football and I still really wanted to play football, that I thought about it for a while. But I came to RMU, and obviously I can't play while I'm playing a D1 sport, just don't want to get injured for any other reasons. And I really did like the women on that team. I stayed because they immediately started practice while the rest of my teammates were taking showers and stuff like that and stuff. And I watched them, and they had normal, exactly everything the same football. Yep. And I was like, wow, this is actually a possibility later. It
is a great organization. Teresa Kahn's a very trusted, loving friend. I respect her and everything that those great women have done down through the years. I'll tell you what, after you graduate from Robert Morris, if you want to go meet them, I can hook you up with Teresa and the Passion. But one of the other things that jumped off your resume to me is you're into longboard surfing.
Yes.
How do you do that if you come from Peters Township here in Western Pennsylvania?
So that's the thing for longboarding, there's actually the type of longboarding that I do personally is downhill longboarding.
Okay.
And we have a lot of hills here. As you know, on our campus, it's very hilly. So my longboard is actually specifically designed to be able to do very fast, long rides down a downhill slope without knocking you off the board. It's very stable, and you can actually do that. It's basically it's literally you just standing and just floating down a long hill. And
see, when I saw surfing on your resume, I'm thinking, okay, where's the ocean here?
No,
you're talking.
It is like
literally riding downhill on a surfboard.
No, it is actually like kind of like a skateboard.
Okay.
It's more closer to a skateboard, but they're actually like they're a good number of inches longer.
Okay.
So like they'll probably be like a good like my board itself is like 40 inches long just from where your feet stand.
Okay.
And it has like normal like trucks and wheels for like a skateboard and stuff like that, and you just quite literally go down a hill as fast as you can.
I learned something today. I'll never try it because I have no balance, but you do, and obviously that's great balance. And speaking of balance, finally, I've got to ask you how you balance all this great play in goal with a lacrosse team and studying here as a student athlete.
So a lot of it is quite literally just time management. Like I purposely especially since we have for classes and stuff like that, you get like a couple gap hours, like 1 or 2 gap hours between like your next class or something like that. But quite literally, it's like I go to practice. I'll go, if I have like maybe an hour between practice and the beginning of my class, I'll do some homework. Sure. And then I'll have that class finish up, maybe a gap between the next one and do that. And so the times where I'm actually the most time crunched is actually where I do my best, because I know that I have such a small amount of time that I have to get my stuff done in the most efficient way possible. And that's most of what I do. If I have a longer day where I actually have breaks, I'm not usually doing homework, actually. I like the days that it's jam-packed because I do my homework as efficiently as possible. Sure. And I just put my nose to the grindstone and just finish it all out in a day.
What's your major?
Mechanical and manufacturing engineering, and I'm actually going for the master's in engineering management.
Excellent. Best of luck to you, not only in the classroom, but out on the field as well. I know you have a big match coming up this week. Mm-hmm. Good luck as you go on for that MAC championship.
Thank you.
All right. That is Jamie Keller. This is the Bobby Moe Show. We're coming back with more coming up next.
Chick-fil-A Robinson will brighten your day with their new chocolate fudge brownie, mac and cheese, and cheese sauce. Chick-fil-A's chocolate fudge brownie is crafted with layers of fudge, a cake-like middle, and topped with flaky chunks of chocolate. The mac and cheese is a premium blend of cheeses coming together for a nice, crispy layer on top of warm, creamy Chick-fil-A deliciousness. The cheese sauce at Chick-fil-A makes waffle fries even more yummy. Stop by Chick-fil-A Robinson and treat yourself to their new brownie, mac and cheese, and cheese sauce today. Serving you with care. Chick-fil-A Robinson.
Many Pittsburgh area families are struggling to afford basic gas, water, and electric services, but you can help your neighbors in need by supporting Dollar Energy Fund. Find out how a small contribution can have a big impact. Visit dollarenergy.org today. Welcome back to the Bobby Moe Show. Chris Shovlin here, the play-by-play voice of Robert Morris University football and basketball. And we're going to talk volleyball today because we have Tilbe Yaliolu, who is the newly appointed assistant coach of the Robert Morris University Colonials. And Tilbe, you have a very well-rounded background, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's talk volleyball. You come from a volleyball family, correct?
Yeah. Both my parents are former volleyball players. My mom played for the Turkish national team, and my dad played professional both in Turkey and in Germany. And he's been a volleyball coach for over 40 years. So both my brother and I grew up in the gym, basically.
I had to ask. You grew up in the gym. Can you remember the very first time you handled a volleyball or tried to put one up?
To be completely honest, no, because that was just the reality. And every time out, my brother and I would jump on the court and like pepper a little bit, play with the ball, and then jump back out. And my brother was actually the one who would always coach me. So we would go out on the yard at our house and he would be the coach and teach me volleyball. But it wasn't until I was 14 that I actually started playing on the team. So I knew how to play, but I wasn't on a team until I was 14.
How competitive was the game in your yard with your brother? I mean, did it get a little crazy out there?
Well, it generally ended with a fight and someone crying and going upstairs, so to say the least.
Oh,
but
man.
he's a volleyball coach now too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think I was his first person to practice on.
Is there anybody in your family who isn't affiliated with volleyball? Let me ask you that, because you're a volleyball coach now.
Yeah, well, I guess at this point, no. My brother was a soccer player for probably 16 years, and he was really good. He played for the, mini futsal size German national team, and they won the World Cup, and he was the MVP and the captain.
Wow.
And then after that, he said, I'm done. I'm going to coach volleyball. We're like, what? Wow. And that's how he shifted, and now he's a head coach in the first league in Germany. He's killing it. Very proud of him.
I should ask him. Like, what was the sudden change? I mean, do you know? Did he give a reason for it, or just had enough?
Well, I think so. My dad is a huge role model in his life,
Sure.
and growing up sitting next to my dad on the bench, just as a hobby, and watching him coach and impact all these young women and men, he really enjoyed that aspect of it, and he did it as a side job at his university and everything, but. He made that jump after soccer, and he said, I really enjoy this. I'm going to continue doing it.
Toby, you come from Eastern Mennonite, which is a D3 school in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and you've been in Harrisonburg for quite some time because you played at James Madison University, which is headquartered there.
Yeah.
Talk about Harrisonburg and life there.
Oh, my goodness. Harrisonburg is known as the friendly city.
Yeah.
And that describes it perfectly. Everybody is there to help. They're incredibly friendly and caring. And I was a little bit hesitant because I love JMU. So shifting schools and going to a different school in Harrisonburg that's not JMU, I was worried that culture wasn't going to carry over, but it 100% did. And EMU, the people at EMU, the community is just as caring and loving. So I was happy to get both experiences, both schools, in Harrisonburg. So
That's a great little city.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
really
great.
is. And I know you still bleed purple. You told me.
Yeah. I shouldn't say that out loud here.
Well, it's red, blue, and white here at Robert Morris University. And Toby, you're the newly appointed assistant volleyball coach. And Danny Doherty brought you in here just recently. What are your impressions of Robert Morris in Pittsburgh so far?
It's great. I've been to Pittsburgh only once last summer, and I was incredibly impressed. And I was downtown, and it was a sunny, beautiful day. There was a Pirates game. We don't have many of those, by the way. I was fooled by that, I must admit. And there was a Pirates game, so everybody was out and about and walking out. I was like, this is phenomenal. I love this. And I could totally see myself living here. And Robert Morris, I just added to it. I just love that people care about you in this community. And I must admit, too, that I'm incredibly inspired by the women that work here. They're strong. Lisa Hernandez, Nelly. I can talk to them about anything and everything, and I feel inspired by the time I leave the room. So it's good to be surrounded by role models like them. And the girls on the team, each of them have their unique personality and bring so much diversity to the team and challenge me as a coach, and I love to work with them. So
you're a young coach, and your playing days aren't that far behind you. Obviously, you played in Turkey as well for a while, and I'm wondering how your playing experience carries over into your coaching experience now.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the biggest asset I carry is the diverse cultures of volleyball. So being in Germany and Turkey, on the West Coast, on the East Coast, D1, D3, volleyball is so broad. And then there's, we're all doing the same thing, but we're doing it so differently. And anytime I feel like I feel maybe overwhelmed or I'm going to react, I take a step back and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what is the player understanding, or what am I not understanding? So it gives me a sense of depth. I think there's a lot more to the game than we know. And I think it adds, but there's still a lot of room to grow. I'm very green to this. So
hopefully the growth will continue here at Robert Morris. We want to welcome you here to Pittsburgh and to Robert Morris University. It's a pleasure speaking with you. I think you're a fascinating person, and I cannot believe that you don't have a German accent because you grew up in Germany. And we were talking about that before we started the Bobby Mo Show here. And, it's just amazing because I was telling you, I have a habit of listening for accents or, dialects or, little nuances in people's voices, but I just don't hear an accent from you.
Oh, thank you. I generally, when people say that to me, I tell them that I believe there is a melody in language. Yeah. We always just focus on the pronunciation, but there's also that like going up at the end of the sentence, and I think I picked up on that early on.
A little more inflection.
And so I think that saves me from being caught without an accent.
Well, wait till you get a Pittsburgh accent. You're going to start talking Pittsburghese here anytime now, and you'll find out what I mean.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see. That's Silve Yaliolu. We thank you so much. Welcome to Bobby Mo.
Thank you for having me.
All right, coming back with the Bobby Mo Show. A little more coming up next. This winter, many families in our area are struggling to make ends meet and keep their homes warm. You can make a difference by making a donation to Dollar Energy Fund. Your contribution will be matched dollar for dollar by Dollar Energy Fund's utility partners, and 100% of all donations will be used to help local families maintain or restore basic utility services. No one should have to face a Pittsburgh winter in the cold. Help spread the warmth to your neighbors in need and donate today at dollarenergy.org. For nearly 4 decades, Dollar Energy Fund has been providing utility assistance to local families in need. When you support Dollar Energy Fund, you help your neighbors maintain safe gas, water, and electric services. Visit dollarenergy.org to donate today. All right, let's get caught up on the Colonials. First of all, softball had a spectacular weekend last week. They had a 3-game sweep over IUPUI. They'll host Purdue Fort Wayne Friday at 3 o'clock, and then a doubleheader on Saturday at 1 o'clock here on campus. Men's lacrosse lost on that road trip at Utah last Saturday. They'll host the United States Air Force Academy this Saturday. You'll be able to see that on YouTube at 1. Women's lacrosse, they beat Akron this past Saturday. They'll be on the road at Central Michigan University Saturday. Now, a win there at CMU in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, would clinch the MAC regular season title for Robert Morris University women's lacrosse. Women's track and field will host the Benson Hodge Memorial Invitational. That'll take place here on Friday and Saturday. And men's golf will be in Florida for the Horizon League Championships. They'll be on the links from Sunday through Tuesday. Best wishes to all the Colonial teams. That'll do it for the Bobby Mo Show for this week. Dylan Thompson's our producer. I'm Chris Shublin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.